Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another podcast of King Island Radio and Television. Now, have you heard of the Moonbird Festival? If you haven't, you missed something for a few years now. But there is a new opportunity coming up. And to find out a little bit more, we talked to one of the organizers, Anthony Albrecht. Anthony, welcome back to King Island.
Thank you so much, Wade. It's great to chat about the Moonbird Festival with you.
Yeah, no, for those people who don't know, I can't imagine what is actually, how did it ever start, and what is actually the Moonbird Festival?
Yeah, so I'm a cellist, and my partner Simone Slattery and I, she's a violinist, fell in love with King Island about 6 years ago. We were invited to come over and perform a concert out at the old Portside Links gallery. Beautiful, uh, absolutely beautiful event, and we spent a lot of time just sort of free roaming around the island after the concert, and we just thought, what a absolutely spectacular place and what a beautiful community. Um, Simon and I then were marooned on King Island quite contentedly, I might add. During the first few months of the pandemic, we came over again in early 2020. The intention was to just be there for 5 days, playing a concert and doing some education work at the school. But Australia went into lockdown, and we ended up on the island for 10 weeks, and that was a really wonderful immersion. It was like the ultimate isolation. I'm sure a lot of people who were on King Island in those early days would agree it wasn't such a bad thing. But yeah, we got chatting with some folks back then, and uh, I think felt that a festival of music and art and food and wine would be a really great thing to do. So um, it wasn't until 2023 that we managed to get organised, and the Moonbird Festival was held for the first time back in April of 2023. And it's really an event that celebrates the island, celebrates the wonderful community, and brings some world class experiences to folks. Where, of course, primarily providing the festival and the events during it for the local community of King Island. We think it's really, really special to be able to contribute something to the annual cultural calendar of the place. Um, but I guess there's also the dream of doing something so special that it can bring a lot of tourists over as well. We feel really, really lucky to be able to work with the local community to present the event, and we've been able to use some of the really stunning homes on the island as concert venues and exhibition spaces over the last couple of years, in addition to using some of the public spaces on the island, like the town hall and the harbour and King Island Gallery and other locations. So this year we've got 6 concerts, we've got exhibition openings, some talks, and yeah, just great opportunities to get together, enjoy beautiful music, and yeah, enjoy your amazing island.
If I define, say, your music as classical music, give it a category, whatever we want to call it, is it a bit like coming here and doing the Moonbird Festival is almost like we take classical music to the people instead of people coming to big concert halls or wherever to listen and watch?
Yeah, absolutely. So Simone and I are classically trained, and a lot of the music that we play and love has that label of classical easily attached to it. But we are really passionate about bringing that music to communities right across regional Australia, and presenting it in a way that's not the sort of highbrow, kind of hard to understand, not necessarily particularly accessible format of the city concert halls, and we're sharing this beautiful music with a kind of storytelling intention, and in spaces that allow for this really amazing intimate connection between the performers and the audiences. And that's what King Island venues are all about. So yeah, Moonbird, I think, is a way to experience something perhaps really new. Like our concert programs are often about experimentation and exploration of ideas, but first and foremost, it's just extraordinary music played by some of the best musicians in Australia, both from the classical sort of world music and folk genres.
Now, you already mentioned it, intimate. How is it for a performer like yourself, and even for your partner Simone? Um, you're in somebody's house, you're in their space, and intimacy created. Is that performing then very different than when you say have 500 people in front of you at a stage big enough for whatever?
Yeah, I mean, by the end of the Moonbird Festival weekend, we kind of feel like we're almost friends with everyone in the audience. Like the experience of bearing all and playing that music in front of people and so close to them. You're sharing something that's really special, really profound, definitely very unique. And these concerts that we've been able to present on King Island over the last few years are some of the most unforgettable of our lives, some of the most emotional. And that's not just because it's a close space to be sharing with the audience. I mean, it is really beautiful to actually be able to look into the faces of people as you play and share that intense kind of emotional energy. But you can look out the window and you're seeing seagulls fly past, or Cape Barren geese, or just the extraordinary landscape of the island. You mentioned house concerts. We've been so fortunate the last couple of years to use both the incredible Whale Tail House at Yellow Rock, and also Red Hut down at Collier's Beach. And anyone who's visited those two houses knows, great views, great fun being there. We're using Yellow Rock again. Di and Andrew Blake very generously offering their home again for the festival this year. We're not using Red Hut, but mainly because we're excited to perform at the brand new King Island Hub. So we've programmed 3 concerts there to really showcase that space as what we think is a really nationally significant new building for culture and for community to come together. So yeah, as I say though, these concerts that we've performed on King Island, really unforgettable for us, and I think really special for audiences. And we'd encourage anyone who hasn't yet come along to get amongst it, because yeah, definitely very beautiful, very enjoyable experiences.
Now, you spent here 10 weeks during COVID, so I can say that for you and Simone, COVID was maybe almost like a blessing, having so much time here. Now, you're musicians. A lot of people come to this island and they love the views and the ocean and whatever. What would you describe as the sounds of King Island? Because you must have picked up sounds here. Or maybe the not sounds, the total quietness.
Well, for those first few weeks of that pandemic period, even Collier's Beach itself was closed, and of course, not all the King Islanders adhered to the regulations. We certainly broke the rules every day by getting down on the beach, but we hardly heard any sounds of humanity for those weeks. We heard the penguins roosting in the dunes. We heard shearwaters on their roosts just around the coast from us. We could hear just the sort of endless rolling of the waves crashing on Collier's Beach, and Yeah, it was absolutely mesmerizing and really changed, I think, our ability to properly listen to nature. You know, we're musicians, we sort of have always rated our ears as being pretty good. Um, but King Island really taught us to listen in a whole new way, I think. And yeah, some of the most beautiful experiences of our lives during the period that we've spent on the island, you know, during the pandemic or otherwise. We just absolutely love the ruggedness, the remoteness of the place. And yeah, you know, I talk about our concert experiences as being intimate ones, but I think when you really take time to get out and enjoy the beautiful nature of King Island, it's unlike anywhere else on Earth, and yeah, a place we really passionately love, and yeah, keen to keep coming back every year if we can.
Now you mentioned you're going to bring some really big names. Now I like to play a little bit of a video. Can you give me a name that we can show something that people get a bit of an idea that? And I'm sure the rest of them we're going to have a listen and watch too, and before it all comes and starts. But just give us a name of somebody that's going to be here.
Yeah, so the headliner this year, if you like, is the incredible James Crabb. He is a world leading classical accordion player. Um, so imagine, you know, tango, gypsy music, Scottish folk songs. Um, he can play really anything from any genre, but he was a guy who has played with the great legend of tango, Piazzolla. So James Crabb has played with Piazzolla's own band in Argentina. Um, yeah, James, you know, tours the world every year, performing with orchestras and solo. And we hosted him at our twin festival up in the Blue Mountains late last year, which is called Lyrebird Festival. And uh, we were just completely blown away by his humanity as well as his incredible music making.
Welcome back. This is King on Community Radio and Television with the podcast where we talk to Anthony Albrecht from the Moonbird Festival. And you just had a look at one of the headliners, James Crabb. Now, Anthony, can you say, and maybe I'm a little bit harsh here, but I have a feeling sometimes that a lot of people can play an instrument. Not many people can bring an instrument to life. Is that correct?
Look, I think music making is one of the great joys of life. And I would encourage like anyone and everyone to pick up an instrument and to give it a go. I mean, doesn't matter what your ability is, like the joy of sort of working with sound and working with your body as well, to do something creative like that. It's really awesome. But yeah, I mean, there are certain performers who are able to bring something really incredibly moving to that concert environment. And yeah, I think you know, folks might know that Simon and I are the founders of the Moonbird Collective, which is an organisation that we created about 8 years ago, and we're dedicated to doing things like the Moonbird Festival. So a lot of our performances are about, as I said, storytelling and sharing music in a context which we hope is really accessible for everyone. And it's our joy through the Moonbird Festival and other events that we run to collaborate with incredible performers that I think, as you say, can do something with their instruments that's really profound. It's impressive. It's incredibly thrilling and entertaining. But yeah, just really emotional, I think, is our key. Like, there are so many crazy things going on in the world right now. I think coming together as a community and just sharing feelings through music is a really special thing to do.
Now, you already mentioned it, Anthony, the 6th to the 9th of November. Now, people might think that's a long way away, but I believe people can already book tickets if they want to for one of the concerts or any concert where they want to go to.
Yeah, absolutely. So the program's now online at moonbirdfestival.com.
We put it here, Anthony. I just put it right here under here so people can click on it here and just visit and I guess find out where to book, how to book.
Perfect. It's all on the website, the full schedule, and tickets absolutely available. We're also going to put up on the screen right now a little discount code for King Islanders because, as I say, this festival is really for you guys. It's been our joy to get to know the community in the last few years, and we're always thrilled to work on new faces to our concerts. There's, for many of the performances, a pay what you can price, which is already very affordable, and kids for concerts are only $5. But for those who are keen to pay full price, King Islanders can get a special discount that you're seeing on the screen right now. So we really encourage people to read about these programs. All the bios and photos of all the artists are online on the website, including links through where you can see more about each of them. And yeah, we're of course hoping that folks will come from off island as well. So we're trying to encourage people to be really exploring the island, spending their money, and enjoying everything the place has to offer.
That's beautiful. I'm sure we're going to talk a little bit more before it all happens, Anthony. We thank you very much for your time. And we can only tell people you don't want to miss this. You better go. Anthony Albrecht, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.